Now this video was from the cloud Indonesia in May 31st, 2014. Sangueng, I think the island's called. Now, from far away it looks normal, but anyone that zooms in closer will see those weird structures that I've seen before in cloud orb formations. So I've seen quite a few of these very weird things that look like they're three-dimensional, but they use clouds or smoke to produce the shape that they're actually composed of. I then saw a beautiful cloud orb as well. Now these areas that I'm highlighting, I'll just zoom in on them, try and take the best pictures and process them. One was 2004 by Laszlo Novak in Sydney. It was a huge mothership of orb formations, and they were flying out, and it was all clearly seen on the film. It was spectacular. So here are these very strange formations that I'm highlighting, which will be brought up, that honeycomb entrance there. I'm trying to understand how this can happen, how anything can actually fourth dimensional become third dimensional, three-dimensional. And these activities always happen near volcanoes. Laszlo has watched the cameras in Mexico, and they fly into volcanoes, these light orbs. Why, how far deep do they travel, I don't know. So this is Indonesia, and obviously this is one example that's happening here that's very hard. So as we zoom in, I'm going to look at those very important things that look like they're coming out of that round entrance. That structure there, that square structure, that one there, those structures there as well. Especially down the bottom right there, they seem to come out of that entrance. I'm not sure how far away this was filmed, but obviously we can have a chance of actually analysing what's in there by altering the colour and the resolution on the editor, especially that object in the middle around there. So all those areas I'm taking the mouse on will actually help understand the things I'm looking at. So yeah, I hope this helps, but especially that there, right in the center of that, there it is. And that looks square on the side. And this is where I start processing the images. Now I'll show you how quick this works. Basically, by having it in this format, I can virtually hop in and adjust the image. And this was filmed from a YouTube video, so obviously it's going to be hard, so I'll do it the quickest I can. There was that round structure of the tubes coming out. There's another structure down the bottom, which I thought looked like a rod. So I'm just trying to highlight that image. There it is there. Bring it up a bit. If it's not highlighted, you'll lose a fair piece of the information. So I don't like wasting time, but that's the only way I can sort of analyze this. So we see those structures down there. That one's not that clear. You got the next picture. So all I do is just adjust the histogram, try to bring out the contrast of these structures. It won't work any other way. There it is, it just keeps going straight up. There's one large structure there. So somehow these are three-dimensional structures which are produced by fourth-dimensional entities, which you can't normally see them. That's very scary. The only other time I've seen these patterns is in clouds, filmed by UFO people that have had these clouds appear above their houses, which is very strange. One chap filmed something similar. A cloud opened, it was a square hatch, and he was fired by it's hard to believe, he was actually fired upon, and he actually filmed a ray coming towards him. Now, I found that hard to believe until I analysed a cloud and saw these images of a hatch opening and these rods coming out, similar to these ones here. I can't explain it. It's hard to work out how this can occur, but obviously, look, there it is. We see these things. He was fired upon. He was missed. There was one other researcher, Ken, in the UK. He was filming an orb UFO and actually did fire at him and it injured his left face, he told me. So it is hard to believe. That's why I'm just fascinated with all this, and I'm just trying to quickly show. There's a bridge that leads up to the other structure. So it's hard to believe there's individuals, but this chap caught that cloud. The cloud changed shape. I'll have to do a YouTube documentary. A hatch opened, and you can see the ray gun coming out. That's how crazy that sounds. There it is there. He hasn't been injured, but obviously when I saw that, it's like, wow. Could this explain all the chemtrails up there? The chemtrails seem to actually bring these objects up a bit. So it actually, every time I see these objects, the chemtrail actually doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's scary. So when Doug actually filmed this cloud opening up and the hatches, he was actually filming huge chemtrails above him as well. So the rumor is it's some sort of war that these chemtrails are meant to destroy us. I don't know what to think anymore. After seeing these things, the chemtrails were very pronounced above Doug's house when he filmed this. Are they meant to reduce the fourth dimensional entities? Because they haven't worked. If they haven't worked, obviously I don't see the point in these chemtrails. So the other theory is that chemtrails enhance these structures and are produced by these aliens themselves. Again, very hard to believe this. Look at that structure there. Hard to believe. Look at that beautiful trail that leads up there. On this one I can just get the dome there and a little path leading up. Beautiful. Beautiful structures. Something is bizarre in this one because I've picked up a blue rod next to that object there. There it is again. That's a fantastic structure. It's very pronounced. If anyone zooms in and actually analyzes this, they're very pronounced structures. Very alien looking, very unearthly, but they're there. They're here. I'll try to do this the best I can. I don't think I can get much out of it. Now this shows the object literally appear above the ground. That's fascinating. And there it is. Look at it. Look at that. It's right in there, that round thing. It's got tubes coming out. There's an object there that looks like a ray gun or something. It's happening all around the world. That huge round cloud that appeared over Moscow, this was also similar to this as well. One appeared over Brazil, and when I analysed them, it looked as though the same things that I've seen analysed in these orb cloud trails. So these are huge UFOs actually in these things. This is the clearest one that I've seen as actually structures in there. Look at that. Look at those structures. So I think the one that appeared over Moscow was around, I'll have to Google it, 2010 or something. So these are huge round clouds, but what they are actually are UFOs. I couldn't understand how or when or what, but when I'm analysing these things, it's clear that these are fourth-dimensional entities that somehow use the clouds as cloaking devices. They can then materialize. I've heard of reports of people being kidnapped over the US parks. That sounded ridiculous. A lot of things are happening. Look at that. So it's very hard to believe, is this propaganda, is it some sort of YouTube propaganda or whatever, but to actually analyze one of these and find all the structures, you start to ask yourself, obviously, well, what's happening down there or up there. Look at that. It's a beautiful honeycomb shape. That is fantastic. These are magnificent shapes. This object here is unusual because it's got the white pattern around it, and it's got the blue, very, very pronounced blue, darker rods around it. There's that object in the round ring that's coming out of some sort of tubes. I can't do much on that one. There are those objects again which are squared. These are beautiful shapes. These are very, very, very lovely things. I'm trying to zoom in a lot more on this structure here. It's going to be tricky. That's what I saw, this object there, the round one. That's a tricky one. Fantastic structures. The only problem is the film was not that clear, so when I zoomed in on it, it was not that clear that I wanted it. There it is there. Look at that. Look at those structures. They're magnificent. These are magnificent structures. Look at that. There's that thing that looks like a sharp, I won't say ray gun, but that's how we would think of it. There it is there. Wow. Next image. There's that object coming out of the round opening. That's very hard to capture. Next one. Next one there. There's that beautiful object right there. Look at it. It's got the two things coming from the side. I don't know how this can be reproduced, what these things are, how far did they travel down the volcano. I read somewhere 5 miles and actually live under there. So it could explain all the activity over Mexico and things like that. So obviously they're using the volcanoes in Indonesia, which are live. And there's one other crazy theory around that we're in the concave Earth. As you go up exponentially, things get smaller and smaller. So that's why you always reach infinity. That's how you got the time issues as well. And on the other part of the mantle is the other universe. So I don't know what to think about all this, but this is what I haven't expected to see these things. It could be that's their portal to actually go to the other side. Or it could be a hollow earth, or it could be that they want the energy coming from deep down the volcanoes. These are crazy theories. Look at that. Look at those images. It's even more crazy that I get stories of people in the USA having clouds follow them around. Clouds open up hatches, ray guns appear, which I've seen and analysed, and beams are fired at these people. That's even more. Now, this was a person that kept filming all these things. I won't mention his name. He also said he was contacted by these aliens 2 years ago, and they wanted him to get the word out that chemtrails are meant to destroy us, and he didn't want to listen to them, so they started to fire these beams at him. And maybe all the stress is getting to him, but his camera has picked up these beams and these clouds that I've seen before and analysed. So his theory for what's happening, I have no proof of that. All I have is the film, and he uses his iPhone, which is pretty good quality, to catch all these things which I thought it couldn't be happening. Now I'm seeing these things here as well. I'm also analysing the UFO over the clouds in 2010, Indonesia, and that showed aliens opening a hatch up, and I've actually zoomed in on them, so that's hard to believe too. And one looked a lizard-like, and there was a huge tube wrapped around there, looked very sticky, and there was one large open end on the end, and My theory wasn't a pleasant theory. It actually looks like a cloud. It flies low. The tube, it's a or organic type of sticky looking tube. The tube just bends down and sucks inside whatever it wants. Now, if that's food or is that humans, I don't know. The alien appeared. I filmed it. Uh, it's on this YouTube channel. These aliens could be the spotters. It's ridiculous. But the film looked as though it's too intricate to be a Photoshop film. It's the same as these clouds. They're filmed for real. They're not games in Hollywood. So I don't know what's happening. Look at that. That was my theory for that cloud. White behaved like that. The white floated down low. It was filmed by someone. The film was very clear. After I watched the film 2 or 3 times, the actual source was edited and became blurred. So I actually captured that and put it on YouTube. That's like a honeycomb effect. This is that object that appears on the top. There's the object there. There's that square object. This one's going to be hard to analyze, but there it is. Look at that. I can't do any more with it. I can actually make it a darker. Make it too light, it's no good. That's better. That object looks square. And there's a dome on top of it. Again, very hard with the images that I have to analyze, but I'll do the best I can. That's a great image. This is a hard one to process. There are things there, but I can't seem to do much with them. There's that object coming out of the start of that round thing. Look at that. Look at that. There's the object there, there's the dome, and there are the tubes. There's one more image again. I'm just in shock. I can't believe these things are really here, and It's on film. I just can't believe I can just zoom in that well. Look at that. Look at that. Here's the image there. This image it's a very good one, but I can't seem to get all the things I want out of it. And I might get something out right there. This was a good one too. Another one. I've seen the same structures on the moon. That's the funny thing. I've seen these same shapes on the moon. Exactly the same. And I'm zoomed in on an old NASA film. So it's on my YouTube channel. So I can't explain how they can come from there to here in fourth dimensional form. Okay, that's it.